G'day and welcome to Videodrome Cinema. We've got 10 interesting and fun facts about the new Christopher Nolan film Dunkirk. Now, I polled some of my friends. My accent used to be Australian, but it's kind of Canadian and a little mixed up all over the place that I've lived. And I and my Australian friends that I asked pronounce it Dunkirk. I know that it's Dunkirk, a harder R in the States. It's an actual French town, which would make it Dunkirk. I listened to a couple of European trailers, and in Hungary, for instance, for some odd reason, they say Dunkirk. The English title is Dunkirk. Okay, so first off, a little history lesson. The Battle of Dunkirk was one of the major battles of World War II. It took place between 1940, May 26th, and June 4th. On one side, the French-English alliance, and on the other side, the Third Reich. Basically, when all hope was lost, they ordered the evacuation of the troops. That was Operation Dynamo, and it started on May 27th. The British sent their entire navy, but a bunch of smaller ships and sailboats helped out too. The troops waiting for evacuation congregated on the shores of Dunkirk. On June 4th, the Nazi soldiers took over Dunkirk, but before that the British did actually manage to rescue most of their soldiers. A consequence of the battle was that most of the Allied power was destroyed. This was a major defeat for the French army, and it kind of opened the road for the Nazis. But with the 330,000 or more troops that were rescued for the British, they were still able to get them back into formation. Principal photography began on May 23rd in 2016 in Dunkirk. They filmed in the Netherlands too, in a small town called Urk, which is a fishing town. A few British locations, and some of the studio shots were filmed in Los Angeles. Most of the shots for the sinking ship and the inside of the sinking ship was filmed in Los Angeles in a huge water tank. They started by shooting the historical evacuation. The town of Dunkirk helped out the filmmakers by creating a film office in the mayor's office. In the background of some of the water scenes, you can see two historical fishing boats. On these boats, you can see the call sign UK 12 and UK 114. But these call signs don't mean the United Kingdom, they actually mean the town of Urk. It's their shipping code. Christopher Nolan said that because the soldiers on the shore were young and inexperienced, he also wanted to find actors who were young and inexperienced. During interviews, they asked the director how come he cast one of the singers from One Direction, Harry Styles, to which he replied, first off, he was young and inexperienced, and that they actually tested more than 1,000 kids, and he was the one that he really liked. He had to have separate bodyguards to keep the screaming teenagers away during filming. Christopher Nolan took inspiration from silent films like the 1924 Greed and the 1927 Sunrise. He also found inspiration in Saving Private Ryan and the 1959 Pickpocket and the 1953 Le Salaire de la Peur, or The Wages of Fear. He also said that films like Alien, Speed, and All Quiet on the Western Front were all things that were in his mind when he was creating the film. The actual story for the film has been rattling around in Christopher Nolan's brain since the time when he was a student, and with his then girlfriend, now wife Emma Thomas, he crossed the English Channel in 19 hours, landing at Dunkirk. He wrote the script. It was 72 pages long. But back then he didn't feel he had the experience to take on such a huge project. In the script, the actual battle sequences are written with mathematic precision, but the characters depicted by the film are all made-up characters. The film moves away from typical war films and the traditions of that genre. First off, it's about a battle where the Germans won. Just like for how the soldiers felt on the beach, they knew the Germans were there and they were shooting at them, but they couldn't actually see them. So the way Nolan made the film was to get the viewer to feel the exact same thing. Another concept breaking tradition was that famous people don't show up in the film. For example, Churchill isn't a character. He said that he wanted this because he didn't want it to have any kind of political attribution. If you take a close look at the poster and the wording in the trailer of Dunkirk, you'll see that it's made up of 3 different colours. The top part is the colour of the sky, the middle part is the colour of the ocean, and the bottom part is the colour of the beach. During shooting, Christopher Nolan used 15 by 70mm IMAX film and Super Panavision 65mm film. It's known that he doesn't like shooting in digital, and he also said that he felt like with this combination he could reach the crystal clear picture that he was looking for. Christopher Nolan likes it when everything looks realistic, and it was no exception on this shooting either. He used real Navy transport ships. For the ships in the faraway background, he used cardboard cutouts onto which they painted the ships that they needed. Like I said before, Christopher Nolan is famous for not wanting to use CGI wherever possible. Just like Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan, Christopher Nolan wanted the shots to feel realistic. So they had the cameraman bobbing around in the water with the actors, and they strapped on IMAX cameras onto a Spitfire's wings and put some into the cockpit to get realistic shots. Christopher Nolan got $20 million to direct the film and 20% of the box office gross, making him the most well-paid director, along with Peter Jackson, who got the same deal to make King Kong. In the film, we can also see Will Attenborough, who's Richard Attenborough's grandson. This is interesting because the famous director and actor Richard Attenborough also played in the 1958 Dunkirk film. So these are the interesting and fun facts I found for the film Dunkirk. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, then subscribe to our channel so we can get you notified when a new one comes out. Hope to see you soon. Bye.